Well, good morning. I've been waiting for cylinder heads to come in so I can start the tear down on the top of this engine. So I'm gonna go ahead and get going with that. We've got the new heads in. We're gonna have to check a few parts as we tear it down to see if we have to order more, but we're gonna start with draining the coolant so we can start taking off the top of the engine. All right, well, we got a full thing of coolant here, so that coolant's drained out mostly out of the system. We're back to where we've been before, which is this upper intake is completely off. I'm gonna get the belt. We've got to remove the alternator and some other auxiliary stuff to get the heads completely off. AC compressor has to be moved out, and things like fuel lines and this hose all have to be removed. So we're gonna get working on that. So this is where we are right now. Took off the idler and alternator mount right here. Took off the power steering, which the AC condenser mounts to the top of the power steering, so that's moved out of the way. It's just bungeed up out of the way so I can get to the head and the valve covers. Same thing with the AC compressor, just got it pulled up out of the way. We did head, and even the alternator. I didn't have to unhook the main battery cable. I was able to just pull it over with the wiring harness. So pretty much everything is undone here. We're going to start working on the valve covers, and then I'll move on to the exhaust manifolds. Great thing about the fact that I'm getting new heads is if I break off a bolt in the head, I don't have to worry about it because the new ones will be clean and ready to go. All right, well, you can see you've got those valve covers off. I tacked them down when I replaced the covers a while ago, thinking I'd never have to pull them off, so they were on there pretty good. But you can see right here, that's our culprit. That's what they should look like, sitting in their rocker. And that one has popped out. So we'll get working on the exhaust and the upper intake manifold, which is this piece right here. And then take off those, loosen those exhaust manifolds. I don't have to actually remove them, just take the bolts off. And we'll go from there. Well, I didn't bore you with just taking off some bolts. On the passenger side, they all came out pretty good, except for this very front one. Those two broke off. And then on the back, I actually backed all of them out. None of them broke. You can see there that stud sticking out. Those two, the stud stayed in. So what I'll probably do, since these are junk heads, is I'm just going to cut those off. And that'll make it easier to slip those heads off the exhaust manifold. It's lunchtime, and then when we come back, we'll work on that lower intake manifold and then hopefully get the heads removed. See how those pistons are holding up. Well, I'm back from lunch, and we are working on getting that lower intake off. I've got Jonathan here helping me with it because, well, I don't want to have to wrench on it all myself. That wears me out. So he's going to help me out. We're going to get those off, and then we're going to work on the heads. Well, we got that lower intake out. Here's what we're dealing with. We'll take a closer look here and get some of this pulled off. All right, so you can see this push rod. That's what the issue is. See, it popped out of the lifter there and looks like it's a little bent, so I'm guessing I'll need to replace that. I may just do all the rods while I'm at it. We'll go ahead and get the heads off of this and get it looked at a little bit better. So we have the heads off, so let me show you. This is the passenger side, and if you look close, you can see this little tiny line. This is what these heads are notorious for, is they get these cracks between the two valves. They didn't put enough material to build up. There's none there, and then this back one, again, there's a little tiny crack there. It normally is what causes a lot of problems, but mine's been running fairly strong. I haven't even noticed. Otherwise, they look pretty good. I'm not seeing much issue there. We come over to the passenger driver's side. That crack is very obvious there, so you can see that. And nothing there, and nothing on the back one. You can see this first one here on the passenger side has quite a bit of buildup. It's still not terrible, and this is the one the valve failed on. See over here, just a little less buildup. This back one in really good shape, and if you can just see that, there's still cross-hatching on the cylinder wall. The other side, the driver's side, actually looks better overall. Little bit of buildup on that back one, right in the middle. There was no crack on that one, so that's interesting. This one looks pretty good. That's mostly just debris from taking it off, and same thing here. Again, we've got pretty good crosshatch on the cylinder walls still, so I'm pretty happy with that. Considering how many miles are on it, 256,000, that's not bad. Well, now that we've got the cylinder heads off, we're checking the lifters, and I just found some cracks that I'm not super happy with. They're not vertical, they're horizontal. I'm just worried that some of the lifters may be going bad, and so as we're checking those, they aren't a very expensive part. I think it's worth it to probably just replace them. I'm gonna have to do the push rods anyway, so I might as well get this all done now instead of later. So that's where I'm gonna stop. I'll see you next time when I get parts in to do the lifters and the push rods. Thanks for watching.